Let me start with a few numbers that honestly blew my mind. The average American household wastes about $1,500 worth of food every year. Not eats, not stores, actually throws straight into the trash. Meanwhile, the average new car payment climbed to around $772 a month in late 2025. And more than 1 in 5 buyers now signs up for payments over $1,000 a month. Americans collectively carry over $1.60 trillion in auto loan debt. And then there's the daily stuff. The average cafe drink runs $6 to $8, yet making that same drink at home costs maybe 30 to 60 cents. Buy one fancy drink every workday, and you're quietly spending $1,500 to $2,000 a year on something you could make in your kitchen. Those numbers reveal a simple truth. The gap between people who struggle with money and people who quietly build wealth isn't usually some brilliant investment strategy. It's habits. Specifically, boring habits, unsexy habits. Habits that absolutely no one on social media wants to talk about. Scroll your feed and you'll see endless videos about crypto flips, dropshipping stores, and side hustles that supposedly make $10,000 a month. But the stuff that actually builds wealth, it's painfully boring. It doesn't look impressive on Instagram, and it definitely doesn't go viral. So in this video, I'm sharing 10 habits that are extremely unsexy, but extremely effective. None of these will make you the most interesting person at a party, but every single one can make you significantly wealthier over time. And honestly, if managing your money feels a little boring, you're probably doing it right. Habit 1. Drive an older car longer than feels comfortable. Let's start with one of the biggest money leaks people have: cars. The average new vehicle payment is about $772 per month. That's over $9,200 per year. And that's before gas, insurance, repairs, or registration. But the real killer is depreciation. New cars typically lose 20% of their value the moment they leave the dealership. And by the end of the first year, the loss is often 25–30%. Imagine buying a $50,000 SUV. 12 months later, it might be worth $35,000 to $37,000. You just lost over $13,000 in value for the privilege of driving something new. Wealth builders do something very different. Instead of buying new, they buy vehicles that are already 4 to 6 years old. Think something like a Mazda CX-5, Hyundai Sonata, or Subaru Outback. Those cars might cost $14,000 to $19,000, and the biggest depreciation is already behind them. Modern vehicles regularly reach 180,000 miles or more with basic maintenance. So, you drive it for several years. Then you sell it before major repair issues start. Because you bought after the steep depreciation, you often sell it for close to what you paid. Your money just keeps moving from one car to the next, instead of disappearing. And interestingly, this lines up with what actual millionaires do. Studies of wealthy households show that most drive practical brands, like Toyota, Honda, and Ford, not luxury vehicles. Reliable, simple, not flashy. Now here's the math that hurts. If someone skipped a $1,772 monthly car payment and invested that money instead at 8% returns, they build roughly $170,000 over 15 years. That's the price of driving something newer. Both cars get you to the grocery store. Both cars get you to work. But one quietly builds wealth, while the other slowly drains it. This habit isn't glamorous. It means watching your friends upgrade while you keep the same car. But financially, it's one of the most powerful decisions on this entire list. Habit 2. Rotate the same meals every week. This one sounds strange to people who treat food like entertainment. But households that manage money well often eat a small rotation of meals, maybe 4 or 5 dinners you repeat every week. Why does this work? First, grocery spending becomes predictable. If you buy the same ingredients repeatedly, you know exactly what your weekly grocery bill will look like. No surprises. Second, food waste drops dramatically. The average American throws away about 325 pounds of food every year. When you cook the same meals regularly, you know exactly how much of each ingredient you actually use. Nothing sits in the fridge until it turns into a science experiment. Third, meal decisions disappear. You don't spend mental energy wondering what to cook. You already know. Wednesday night might always be stir-fry. Friday might always be tacos. And surprisingly, it doesn't feel repetitive. Rotating 5 meals means you only eat each one about once per week. You can swap spices, sauces, or sides to keep things interesting. Households that follow this system often spend 30–40% less on groceries than households constantly improvising meals. Structure actually creates freedom. Habit 3. Finish your food before buying more. This habit is simple. Before buying new groceries, use what you already have. Empty the fridge. Check the freezer. Look through the pantry. Americans waste 30–40% of their food supply, which adds up to roughly $1,500 a year for a family of 4. Most of that waste happens because we keep buying new food before finishing the old food. You've probably done this. Bought spinach with good intentions, then found it slimy 2 weeks later. Forgot leftovers in the back of the fridge. Discovered frozen mystery containers months later. A simple solution is a use it up week. Once a month, skip grocery shopping entirely. Make meals using whatever ingredients you already have. Get creative. Pasta plus leftover vegetables. Rice bowls with random freezer items. Soup made from odds and ends. This one habit alone can reduce food spending by 15–25%. Less waste equals less money in the trash. Habit 4. Make your drinks at home. According to recent surveys, Americans spend around $40 to $50 per month at coffee shops. For younger adults, it's often even higher. A typical cafe drink costs $6 to $8. Make one at home, and it costs maybe 30 to 60 cents. If someone buys a drink every weekday, they spend roughly $1,700 a year. Brewing at home might cost $200 to $300 annually. That's a difference of about $1,500 per year. Invest that difference at 8% for 30 years, and it grows to roughly $200,000. All from making your own drink. And this isn't about suffering. A simple espresso machine or French press can make drinks that taste just as good, sometimes better. The bigger point is daily spending. Energy drinks, bottled water, convenient snacks. Small purchases add up quickly. Spending just $25 per day on little things equals over $9,000 per year. Enjoy coffee shops occasionally. Just don't make them your daily caffeine supplier. Habit 5. Bring your own food. Buying lunch regularly is expensive. A typical lunch out costs $12 to $18. A meal prepared at home might cost $3 to $5. Someone buying lunch 5 days a week spends roughly $3,500 per year. Someone bringing lunch spends closer to $1,000. That's $2,500 saved from one habit. This idea also applies when traveling. Airport food and tourist restaurants are notoriously overpriced. Instead, stop at a grocery store when you arrive. Buy breakfast foods, snacks, and simple meals. Maybe you eat out once or twice for the experience, but not for every single meal. A family vacation could easily cost $800 in restaurant food. With groceries and selective dining out, it might cost $250. This habit isn't glamorous. Packing sandwiches for a flight will never be an Instagram story. But the people who do this consistently often travel more often, because their trips cost less. Habit 6. Shop in person instead of online. Online shopping removed all friction from spending. One click, done. Packages arrive 2 days later. The problem is that frictionless spending leads to more spending. Studies show online shoppers often spend 15–30% more than people buying the same items in stores. That's not an accident. Websites are designed to encourage impulse purchases, recommendations, one-click checkout, saved payment information. Shopping in person changes the equation. You have to drive somewhere, walk around, wait in line, carry the items. That inconvenience gives you time to ask, do I really need this? A useful reset is a 30-day online shopping detox. Delete shopping apps. Remove saved credit cards. Require yourself to buy non-essential items in person. Most impulse purchases disappear instantly because they were never worth leaving the house for. Habit 7. Stop constantly buying clothes. The average American spends around $1,800 per year on clothing. Much of that clothing gets worn only a handful of times. Fast fashion created the idea that we constantly need new outfits. But wealth builders often do the opposite. They create a simple, capsule wardrobe. Quality basics, neutral colors, pieces that mix easily. Then they stop shopping. Yes, this means repeating outfits, often. But the benefits are huge. Less decision fatigue, less closet clutter, less time browsing clothing sites, and less money spent. What matters isn't the price tag, it's cost per wear. A $250 jacket worn 120 times costs about $2 per wear. A $40 shirt worn twice costs $20 per wear. Quality items used repeatedly are often cheaper long-term than cheap items replaced constantly. Habit 8. Pay yourself first. Most people handle money like this. Paycheck arrives, bills get paid, spending happens. Whatever remains goes to savings. Usually, nothing remains. Instead, reverse the order. Treat savings like a mandatory bill. When your paycheck arrives, automatic transfers immediately move money to retirement accounts, investment accounts, emergency savings. Only after that do you spend what's left. Your lifestyle adapts to the smaller number. Automation makes this powerful. Millions of workers build savings through automatic payroll deductions. The reason is simple. You can't spend money you never see. Make saving automatic, and it stops relying on willpower. Habit 9. Live 2 years behind your income. When income increases, most people upgrade their lifestyle immediately. Bigger apartment, better car, more expensive restaurants. This is called lifestyle creep, and it's why many high earners still feel broke. Instead, pretend you still earn what you earned 2 years ago. When you get a raise, don't upgrade anything yet. Keep the same spending habits. Save the difference. That gap between income and spending grows larger every year. And that gap is where wealth forms. Surprisingly, studies show many people earning $300,000 or more still live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they earn too little, because they spend everything they earn. The 2-year rule prevents that trap. Your lifestyle still improves, just with a delay. And that delay builds serious wealth. Habit 10. Have a hobby that makes money. The final habit focuses on income instead of spending. Research shows that most self-made millionaires have multiple income streams, but building a side business can feel overwhelming. Instead of starting something from scratch, monetize something you already enjoy. If you like photography, sell prints. If you enjoy baking, take custom orders. If you're great at spreadsheets, freelance online. If you love gaming, stream. The barrier to entry has never been lower. Platforms exist for selling products, services, and knowledge. Even 5 hours per week could produce an extra $200, $500, or more per month. That extra income feeds your savings and investments. And interestingly, productive hobbies often replace expensive ones. Time spent creating can generate money. Time spent consuming usually costs money. The unsexy math of wealth. None of these habits are exciting. Nobody films viral videos about driving old cars or eating leftovers. But the people who quietly build wealth tend to follow these exact behaviors. Research on millionaires shows most are self-made, most didn't earn massive salaries, and most built wealth through consistent saving and investing over decades. The math is simple. Driving older cars might save $6,000 per year. Eating at home might save $4,000. Making drinks at home might save $1,500. Bringing meals instead of buying them might save $2,500. Reducing impulse purchases might save $3,000. Combined, that's roughly $15,000 per year. Invested at 8% for 25 years, that becomes over $1 million. Not flashy, not viral, just boring math. The exciting lifestyle often leads to paycheck stress. The boring lifestyle quietly builds financial freedom. The habits that feel restrictive today become freedom later. So if managing your money feels a little boring, good. You're probably on the right track. Pick the boring path. Future you will be very happy you did.